Interesting times lay ahead in the senior stakes. Let's go to the intermediate football championship now. And firstly, in Group 1, Parke Kilos Crumlin with a victory over Belmullet. To me personally, somewhat shocked at this result. Belmullet, some pundits out there had them down as potential candidates to capture the intermediate championship this year, but it's not going their way.
No, and they were pegged back by Ardnaree in the first game, so they're bottom of this group at the moment with a point. That was a big result for Parke.
2 wins from 2.
Yeah, and they're through now. I saw Parke recently in the league, and they have that ability to grind out wins. They're just a very good team that they're never beaten. So
well organised.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a big result for them. But I'm sure Belmullet will be very disappointed with that one.
Ardnaree now and Ballyhonus. Another draw for Ardnaree against Ballyhonus. This was a fascinating game as well. I think it was a 6-point victory for our lead rather for Ballyhonus, and Ardnaree pulled it back.
Yeah, they hit 1-5 in the last 15 minutes, and it took a late free from John Prenti to pull the sides level. So Ballyhonus no doubt will be glad to have got the results, but be scratching their heads how they kind of nearly let that one slip, because look, they've stopped the rot in terms of defeats there, but it's it leaves that group open.
Wide open. Yeah.
Belmullet have to play Ballyhonus in the final game, so that'll be a very intense one, and Ardnaree have Parke to play, so it should make it interesting. But fair play to Ardnaree, they keep hanging in there and getting results.
In Group 2 now, Islanady had a huge win over Swinford. Islanady, another team just like Parke Kilos Crumlin, they can really grind out big results, can't they?
Yeah, they're a side that are going well this year. They're tipping along nicely in the league as well, and Swinford seem to be in a bit of disarray. Islanady took advantage of that. They have 4 points from their opening 2 games, so they're almost they're through, I think, now, so they'll be very pleased with that. They're a side that no one would really want in the quarterfinals, but big win for them, and Shrule. Obviously, Mayo Gales got the better of them in that one on Sunday.
And not many would have predicted that, to be fair.
No, especially with Shrule and Carb at home. So big result for Mayo Gales, and that'll go down to the last round again, and they'll be hoping to. Both sides will fancy their chances, but Shrule will be very disappointed if they don't make it out of the group, having gone so close last year.
That's it, yeah. In terms of Group 3 now, and Louisburgh and Bunnycolin, a game that you're at yourself as well. It was a real close, pulsating encounter, a lot of drama at the end, I believe. Yeah,
well, there was drama right from the start. Yeah, there was 3 black cards in the first 5 minutes. There was 2 red cards in the end for Louisburgh. Bunnycolin lost a lot of their starting team, but dug it out. It looked like Damien Egan, who has managed Ballinrobe to school success this year, came up from full back, and he said himself after the game, if he knew what the score was, he wouldn't have taken the shot on, but thankfully he did, and he got Swinford went back down the field, and they hit the front again, so it looked like it was gone for Bunnycolin, but Pierce Durkin popped up with a big point for Bunnycolin, because it leaves them back in the championship. It leaves all the teams with a chance. Bunnycolin have to play the Neil in the last round. Burshule and Louisburgh play each other. A draw there would send them both through, but hopefully it won't be a Ireland-Holland 1990 result, but look, it's all to play for in the last round, and Bunnycolin will be happy enough that with the injuries and that. I know Louisburgh are missing a few as well, so they'll hope to have them back whenever the championship restarts. So good result for both teams, considering the way the game went.
Yeah, considering how Burshule and Daniil panned out as well.
Yeah, Daniil hit a penalty, I think it was in the last minute, to pull back the draw, and there were 10 points to one down, or to a goal down at one stage, and it looked like Burshule, who had taken that result in Bunnycolin in the first game, looked like they'd be cruising into the next round, but Daniil, doughty fighters, and look at they'll fancy themselves. They're not going that well in the league, but a result like that, in that manner of a draw, could be crucial for them.
Yeah, real championship side as well. The final Group 4. Now, this is the team that I've predicted from the outset that will be certainly thereabouts, and have a good shout of capturing the intermediate title is Parke and Moy Davitts, and they had a comfortable win against Tourmakeady.
Yeah, and Brian Reap was to the fore. Tourmakeady probably, having played in the Comortas, and they have a lot of good football recently. They would have been quietly confident, especially because they've improved greatly from last year. Last year was a bit of a down year for them, but Moy Davitts, just even with 14 men, they had a man sent off early in the first half. They just complete control, and it shows what a good side they are. And as you said, they won't be far away from winning an intermediate championship, because they're an excellent side. They've a lot of good players, but they just, whatever it is, they don't seem to bring it together at the latter stages. But maybe this year could be the year. I know they didn't start off that well in the league. Ballina gave them a bit of a hiding, but they've turned that round now, and they're very much a side no one will want to face.
Another team that have a good shout as well is Kilchmaw, and they had a good win against Caspar the weekend.
Yeah, a big win, a very big win. So look, at Kilchmaw didn't play to their full potential in last year's county final. I'm sure that's something in the back of their minds when they went back to training this year. They're a very, very good side. A lot of people would, they're two big teams, and they could meet again later on in the group stages. But this weekend was a good one for Kilchmaw, to get back on track and ensure that they leave themselves in with a chance.
Because intermediate is always wide open. We've seen last year with Westport. It's not until really this was the last four. Like, no team looks like a real, you say, compared to the senior, for instance, you say Mitchell's are perhaps the real strong contenders, maybe Ballintubber, Brafey thereabouts then, but in terms of intermediate, it's hard to pick them.
Yeah, it is, and I know we talked to Keith Higgins and Lee Keegan at the weekend, and they both said, intermediate is so wide open, and who would have predicted 2 years ago Ballyhonus winning it, and then started last year, who would have predicted Westport winning it, so the team can come out of nowhere, come out of the pack, and the favourites often falter. Yeah. So it is, and we've seen the results over the weekend. A lot of people would have predicted Lewisburg, to beat Bunnyconlin, Burshul to beat the Neil. So there was a lot of the form book was thrown out the window, and with so many groups, going down to the wire, the likes of Ardnaree still in with a chance, Belmullet, in danger of going out of the group stage. Yeah. It really proves how tough intermediate is in Mayo, and it is anyone's game. And I suppose you look at the fact that we don't know when the next round of games is going to be. Throw into the mix that the neutral venue now comes into play as well, so it really will make for an interesting end to the group stages.